Hello to all of my history online classes. I hope that you are all going to enjoy your July 4th um, Independence Day celebration, no matter how you approach it. Currently, what you're seeing is that I'm here at a park in Portland, Oregon, because I have to do some summer work out here um, to get through the summer, and then I'm going to be back living with you all in sunny Modesto, California, enjoying all those triple digits. So I'm sorry that you are all suffering with that. There's going to be triple digits even here in Portland, but as you see, there's a lot more trees to hide underneath out here. So really quick, I'm getting a few texts and messages of just, I think a lot of you are feeling demoralized about how many videos and the workload. Again, I just want to remind you of something, that I don't have multiple choice quizzes or exams. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have group projects that you have to turn in. So the class is really going to be focusing on a lot of videos, because the videos are going to give you information. They're going to get alternatives to information of things on historic events and people and places that maybe you have not been exposed to otherwise. And the papers, I don't grade I'm not a hard grader, in the sense that, what am I looking for? I want to remind you, did you address whatever I put in the topic? Okay, right? So if you remember, we just saw our tragic presidential debate, where a question was asked and both candidates completely ignored the question entirely. They did that several times. That's not going to fly with me. Okay, if we have a topic, I'm just looking to see, did you stick to the topic, whatever that is. Could be something very general or very specific. Then I'm going to say, okay, do I see dates in the paper? Okay, got something to give me a timeline, time frame. Oh, is there citations in there? Did you use one of my videos, one of the readings? You know, whether it's from the online textbook or some of the other alternative links that I have in the reading section. Okay, so you're using the material that I provided, and I'm gonna say, okay, how does this look? Okay, and maybe, especially on this first week or two, I'm gonna be generous. If you have a train wreck of a paper, and of course you tried, I'm gonna write to you and say, hey, here's what you need to do to fix this, and I'll give you a chance to do that. So don't stress too much. Don't stress about, when it comes to the discussions, I don't want you to worry about sounding, being self-conscious about how you sound. By the way, you'll notice that Canvas has a new feature where you can record a video of yourself. And if you find that easier, which I feel like a lot of students are a little self-conscious to do that. They don't necessarily want to be seen as on blast, but maybe you talk better, or you feel better about talking as opposed to writing. That's what that's for. And so feel free to do that. I forgot to mention that was actually something that just came up into the Canvas features. Okay, and so yeah, ultimately what I want all of you to know is that I have your back to help you get through this semester if you're willing to put in the work. It is a lot of work. It is a summer course. We do 3 chapters a week. Some of you will notice also that the subject matters are all over the place. Well, I'm teaching 2 courses, Western Civ and World Civ. These are survey courses, and I might have mentioned this in my first video, but if I had the power to alter this, I would change, at least with the World Civ, how we do it, and maybe focus on regions for different classes. But in any case, yes, you're going to be overwhelmed with a lot of different things. But again, I want to remind you, you're not going to be held accountable to somehow regurgitate all of that back to me through a multiple choice exam. Just take the notes and do the focused papers, okay? And the discussions, and stay on topic in the discussions. In regards to AI, don't bother with it, at least in terms of, when I get a paper and it's well written, and then of course there's no citations, because you don't know where to put the citations, because you didn't write the paper, AI did. And I'm looking to see that the content that we covered is what you are addressing in the paper. So it's not even going to work for you. And every time I'm getting somebody send me an AI paper, and then their citations are all messed up because they're trying to somehow fit them in there as if I don't know the own content of what I'm teaching. Just don't do it, okay? And if you get behind, if you need an extra day, what you need to do is communicate with me. Communicate. I am a very understanding person, but I need communication, okay? And so please just do that. Lastly, I just want to say this, because I teach history, and us, those of us who are history instructors, we're somewhat often contrarians. We're the people who ruin the buzzkill at the dinner party, and talk about 4th of July just for a moment. I lived up in Portland for about a decade, and after living up here and going up into Washington and in Canada, there are many Native American indigenous tribes, the reservations out here. I've made friends with people who, speak their own tribe's language and grew up fully immersed in indigenous culture here. Many of them actually still refer to themselves as American Indians or Indians. That's how they identify often, or many will tell you that they will identify by their tribe, and there's a lot of different names for them, which I could do better on. But I worked with a coworker, and that's native to this area, indigenous. Her family living here for thousands of years. She would never celebrate 4th of July. She told me. Now, look, she's not a hater in the sense that she's married to a white American man. She's friends with everybody. She doesn't get mad at anybody for celebrating 4th of July. But it's a celebration of the death and destruction of her of her people, of her culture. Because when we called for independence from the British, it was so that we could fully control our destiny on this land, which was already occupied by some other people. And so it really put a different perspective. It's not something I didn't know before, but when you're actually seeing communities of people that you're engaging with and having a good time with, that we're celebrating independence, but that independence didn't come to everybody. It meant subjugation. It meant loss to others. This is not the only place in the world this situation occurs. So why I'm bringing this up is not to dampen your holiday, but to remind you that what I would like us to do when we're engaged with history is remind yourself that depending on who you are, your experience will be different with something compared to somebody else. And I'll just give a quick illustration and I'll end this announcement. You can have an uncle that's really good to you, right? He helps you out with your college, gives you money, tells jokes. He's your favorite uncle. But you hear that your uncle is really mean to your aunt, to his wife. Really bad. In fact, there's even rumors in the family that there's spousal abuse taking place. And you're conflicted. You don't know how to make sense of this, that you're getting such good interaction with somebody that from this family member, but possibly and let's say the evidence comes and shows that in fact there is spousal abuse going on. How do you process that? And what it comes down to is that you're having a different experience with this person than that uncle's wife, your aunt, is. And two things can happen at the same time. And for a human being, when we try to process this, it's a challenge to us, right? On many levels. And so from a historical point of view, different characters are heroes to some people, they're enemies to others. You know, had we lost the War of Independence, this would have been written about differently by the British government. You know, so the winner gets to tell one story, the loser tells another. You see where I'm going with this? So what I want you to do is just be reflective. Use self-analysis. Use this kind of critical thinking skills that your brain has, and your take that through the whole course, and imagine how different sides can look at a particular event. So that's all. So look, have a great day with your family, your loved ones, and don't forget to contact me if you need anything. I am working most days quite a bit, and I do try to contact you, especially if you text me. So some of you, my texts have been short, but I don't ghost you, okay? I don't ignore you. So I want to encourage that if you need to do that. All right, we will be in touch.